This is a Clouds weather alert.
Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center now getting word of a confirmed tornado in just the last few seconds in Clinch County. They're seeing a correlation coefficient drop now as we have a new spin here popping on up as we go over to our storm relative velocity mode. You see this right near Cason Road, and then we go to our correlation coefficient detects, and you see a tornado there on the ground, just starting to drop maybe here in toward Clinch County over the last couple of moments. A confirmed tornado on the ground here. We're tracking it's about 9 miles southeast of DuPont or 10 miles south of Homerville, moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour. So we need to get folks into shelter. You see the greens and reds coming together right now. We have a tornado on the ground near Cason Road in Clinch County, Georgia. It's a pretty rural area, but we need folks in shelter. I know you hear the thunder maybe in the background where I'm at towards dark. No tornado warnings here, but we do now have a tornado watch here in play for a pretty good chunk of our viewing area until 9 o'clock tonight. You can see that here in the yellow color. That does go for areas around Jacksonville, McClenny, Callahan, Yulee, over toward Kingsland, and you see Brunswick, Waycross in there. Of course, we have areas like St. George. You kind of get the idea, but right now where the tornado threat is maximizing is toward parts here of Clinch County. We have a tornado warning, a tornado on the ground now, as again, these warnings kind of are coming and going as we're getting spins like what you see in a tropical setup, Roy, like what you see in a tropical storm almost with these spins. It's kind of coming and going. It's because of all that spin, but the instability, when the storms take advantage of the instability, they become a problem. That's what we're seeing right now here. For perspective, we're looking here southeast of DuPont, south pretty much of Homerville. Again, it's not a purple box, but Weather Service and our eyes have confirmed this is a tornado on the ground. We have a tornado on the ground, though, as you see in the latest frame. It's weakening a little bit here, but that's definitely a tornado that has dropped here in Clinch County. This is an area that didn't get tornadoes all that often here. I generally don't remember talking about Clinch County all that much for a tornado on the ground, but it's a very, very unusual setup here that we're kind of getting into. Where we've seen not necessarily a tornado threat up toward the west, but seeing it up toward the east, and then seeing a threat up toward Ohio here. It's all about how much energy we get, and we're getting enough energy right now and shear combined for a tornado to have touched down here in Clinch County. Again, we're now getting reports from a little while ago from Echols County, the Sheriff's Department reporting trees down from around 253 or so near Highway 135 south there in Jeans Circle. But again, we have a confirmed tornado doing damage here in Clinch County right now. Again, there's your CC drop. We need folks in shelter. This is 9 miles south of Homerville, moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour. So it's a pretty rural area, but still, we gotta be careful. It's already spun up here on us, spinning back down again. As I go ahead and bag this up, you can kind of see how we're watching things. It looks like, I know we're kind of skipping frames here, but it's the overall accent we're watching. You can kind of see the little arc here, and you're watching how we're seeing things evolve in this vicinity. I look on our rotation tracker, and you can kind of see here how things have been pretty consistent with this over just the last little bit there. Definitely a consistent situation, a consistent setup here, but you could kind of see how it spun back up on us on our other mode. I'm going to get that rendered for us here and pop that up. As things again escalating rapidly here in toward our area as these storms have taken advantage of the parameters that are out there now. This storm in particular, and it's become a problem here with a confirmed tornado on the ground, at least for a moment there in Clinch County. I know I have our other mode now. It should be ready to take. So we're going to go ahead and take the radar scope computer now. You can see here, kind of watching some areas off here. That's where we had the tornado warning earlier, and then we've kind of tracked that area. And it's kind of interesting to see how we've just had the spins try to come together on us for a period of time here. You can see how this kind of spins on up as we track it on out. You can look down toward the south here. You see the area goes away, and then we get another spin to reemerge here. And that's what we have, a new tornado warning here on the board. So again, going to continue to watch the situation carefully. I hear the rain coming down where I'm at toward the Stark area now. So let's go ahead and jump on over. We're going to jump away from the tornado warning for a moment. You're probably hearing the rain and wondering if something maybe nasty within that. I know we have had the rumbles of thunder here over the last few minutes, and we're going to go ahead and jump right now on over to our other source, because that's always important to do in these type of situations as we continue to keep you guys covered. You can kind of see what we're talking about here towards South Georgia, but then as we get back on over here, you have this accent moving into Stark now. We have to be mindful of some gustier winds that could be produced, and I do see a little bit of something. Let me see what this is, because it's showing off of Moody. The Jackson radar will be closer, and it's showing a little bit of very weak rotation. So let's go ahead and point this out at least so you guys can be given a heads up that something could develop here with little or no advance warning. You see that a little bit on this mode here, but it's looking higher up. But as we get back on over now, you can see a little bit of a spin here towards State Road 100. Not enough for a tornado warning yet, though. But we'll continue to watch as things are starting to really spin out there as the parameters are coming into play. But there's your area that we're watching there. Roy, just northwest of Stark. Nothing confirmed. Let's check correlation coefficient. There's nothing showing up right now, so that's good news. But just got to be careful here, because we could get something to spin up, because this is kind of an unpredictable situation here. I don't think the Storm Prediction Center has noted by the 40% chance of issuing a watch. I don't know if they really expected to issue a watch here for parts of our area, but they ended up needing to do so. They failed, and I mean, this is a very interesting spin within this line segment here, southeast of DuPont. You see some more spin maybe trying to come together northwest of Fargo here. So I just got to be really careful. Let me go ahead and go on back right now to our other mode. We'll go back to the north. You see here we're still watching a little something as we get down towards street level mapping. You can see here we're not too far away from Stalvey County Road there, depending on how you pronounce that. That's where we're watching some things right now. You see a little hook on that, and we've had a debris signature on this. You see it maybe trying to fade away some, but a correlation coefficient dropout is what they call it here in the chat session. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down here just a little bit. They're talking about maybe a tornado there. Of course, I suppose that could have been something else, some type of maybe an inflow there, but Weather Service thought it could have been a tornado. They didn't actually go with confirmed tornado on this, but based on what we were seeing there, it matched up well enough, and the type rotation we were seeing coast to the radar suggests to me that we at least had a tornado touchdown for a few seconds, and it picked up some debris for less than 1,000 feet up, so it wouldn't take much for a debris signature to show up here. As they're continuing this warning, they're on the side of caution here as we look toward Clinch County. Again, a possible tornado 8 miles south of Homerville, moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour. You see this little Bowen segment here, but really watching the spin on that, you see it showing up as some deeper velocity values as well. As we continue to watch, we continue to track. I know you hear that thunder rumbling toward the Stark area. Let me go ahead and go back on over now toward the map around Stark. You can see here some lightning showing up more between Stark and Lodi. And then again, this is our tornado watch area that was recently issued by the Storm Prediction Center, folks. That goes until 9 o'clock. That's a very long fused watch for that small of an area here. But we got to watch this thread here for sure. Already some wind damage toward Eccles County, 2 miles west of Staytonville. Maybe a tornado touchdown around 2:53 there. The Sheriff Department reported trees down there near 135 South and Jean Circle. So definitely a unique situation. Right after that, we got a tornado watch to be issued, then another tornado warning. So things over the last 45 minutes or so have just completely changed here, really, in terms of now having multiple tornado warnings in the market area for the same area, really of rotation, but then a tornado watch being issued here as well, meaning conditions potentially favorable, as we've seen, for tornadic activity and in close to the watch area. As we go back on over right now, tornado watch, you want to start up the devices in case of power loss. Multiple ways to receive alerts, and a tornado warning here. That means the tornado has been detected using radar and spotted. You want to seek shelter inside a 30 building and get as many walls between you and the outside as possible. and protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet. So here's your safety tips here, folks. We'll go back on over to the radar. You see the rotation not as tight as it was. You can see how maximized there. We're on Statenville, weakened off, and then as we got closer toward the east of Withers, it looks like it kind of tightened back up before weakening off again. But if this holds together here in that cycle, that means maybe later on we'll have to watch closer toward Ware County and even Waycross or Hoboken, somewhere in there. We'll have to kind of keep our eyes on this path as you can kind of see how we're tracking it here. We're kind of tracking that up in towards South Georgia as we go ahead and go back on over now. I know if you're watching from areas toward Tallahassee, that thread here, I know this shows earlier that there was a thread there. Still are some energy values in play, but right now no severe threat from what this activity is bringing us. We still have a margin risk tomorrow, but that's going to be mainly off toward the east here. So that's some good news for areas around Tallahassee, Albany, and Thomasville. But again, we do have a possible tornado. We've already had, it seems to be, one if not two tornado touchdowns here based on the report, based on the debris signature that was showing up here, or at least a correlation coefficient, which is what we use to find debris signatures that drop out here. So again, tornado warning for another 11 minutes here. We're continuing to watch the situation very carefully. We're watching the situation carefully. The rotation's really gone away for now, but I know it's really come and gone. So this is the time, if you're further up in Rock County, to stay weather aware here, folks. Kind of, again, a quick spin up type setup that we don't generally see toward northeast Florida, southeast Georgia anyway. This is pretty unusual. You just get these quick spins and they kind of go away. Again, this is something in that it reminds me a little bit of what we saw back with the tropical system back in July. Not to that level of tornado threat, I do not think, but still, it is kind of reminiscent of that in some regard here. Not completely, but getting just a little bit of energy, and then that kind of helps things percolate out there and potentially be nasty and potent as you hear that thunder towards Stark. Where I'm at, let me get back down on the map here. You can see, I'll go back on over toward radar scope. Let me go back on over right now as we're on our continuous coverage for the tornado warning up toward the north, but no tornado warning right now around Stark, but we are seeing some wind enhancements showing up. So let me go ahead and see what we're talking about. Let me see what we're talking about here. See around Waldo, you see a little bit of wind enhancement down there, 56, 57 mile an hour winds showing up possibly. So that's kind of maybe on the edge. That could just be the inflow there, but I'll have to watch that area over the next little bit down toward Alachua County. You can see here the lighting though toward Bradford County. Just dangerous for some of those electrical devices, obviously. You got to be aware of that threat here. As we look up to the north though in our tornado warning in Clinch County, you see that spin there. What I think we're going to do right now, take a quick break. Be back in about 2.5 minutes with more information. But stay tuned, folks. Still a tornado warning. Pretty rural area here. Rotation's weakened, but we want to make sure we stick with these tornado warning scenarios. Well, this time it's staying here with the caution, using that caution as we go ahead. And let's get back to the whole area view now. We'll go back on over to the whole area view. Tornado warning for Clinch County. They're still staying at 336. The thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located 7 miles southeast of Homerville, moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour. So we're going to gather more details. Be back in about 2.5 minutes.
This is a clouds weather alert.
Back here in the Weather Center now at 3:39, the tornado warning continuing for parts of Clinch County for another 6 minutes or so. So we need folks in shelter up here. I know getting some more tornado warning toward Ohio, where there's another tornado watch in play, but this rotation generally is weakened down here over the last few minutes up toward the north. We'll go ahead and go back on over toward our other mode right now, our Deer Level 3 computer. That's the good news, but we still got to remain weather aware. This seems to have produced some damage. We don't always get that with storms like this here in this part of the country, but that's what we're seeing right now here, some tree damage toward the south. And as I look at our radar scope technology, there's still a little bit of weak rotation showing on up here right now. So we got to keep on watching. You see a little brighter pixel here. I'm going to go ahead and back this up a little bit and zoom on out so you guys see kind of the evolution of things with this cell, with this activity. You can kind of see how things came together down here. We saw an area of spin reemerge, and then maybe something trying to reemerge again. So that might leave the Weather Service in Jacksonville with some questions here on whether they need to extend this tornado warning. So let me go ahead and switch back on over now. We'll look back at this mode of the Doppler radar. You don't see a lot here, but there's a little bit of broad spin right now here to the south and east of Homerville, south of Argyle. We'll zoom on out. You can kind of see we have a little bit of something here further down in Clinch County as well. And then as I know we look down toward Bradford County, we see a couple of little areas here. So let me get back down. We'll go back on over to our Jacksonville radar site once again. Nothing impressive, but it's there, and we still got to watch. You never know. You just never know. As we look here on our Doppler right now around Waldo, a little bit of something here, and then right here on the south side of Stark, we have a little bit of something as well. This is very close to where I'm at, and at least the path of it over the next few minutes, potentially. This is scanned from 5 minutes ago, so it's probably about right here on the east side of town, right about now, depending on the exact track. Sometimes these will be kind of transient, so they'll kind of jump around from time to time, but a little bit of spin here into toward Bradford County. No active warning for Bradford, but the reason we're on is for in southeast Georgia, we have a tornado warning in play for parts of Clinch County for another 4 minutes or so, where you need to get to shelter. But this loop right here will kind of tell you guys the story a little bit. You can see how some of this action's been coming on in, and I know you can hear that rain on the roof where I'm at, and you see the new advisory, and you kind of see some different areas. That's like 3 now here, kind of showing up actually, as you kind of see from the broader perspective. Another area up here that is worth noting for sure, in addition to this area down here in the one near Waldo. Again, these are not very tight in nature, but they are weak spins, and they can strengthen here as we look ahead. And it's something that might get worn downstream. Nothing comes to any type of debris showing up right now, which is obviously good news. But let's get back up to Georgia. We'll get back up to Georgia here. Well, we've had something set up on the radar over the last little bit on the correlation coefficient product here. We'll go ahead and go back on over here with this loop. If we were to kind of watch here the genesis of this and kind of get an idea of what we're talking about. You probably see it kind of dump going out here, and you kind of do there eventually. So that's something to watch. They're expiring the warning for now, but that could change rapidly. We still got to watch. We have little areas of spin. This is axing down here further down toward the south here as well. You see little something maybe trying to come together here or here as we have little spins. This is the area we were watching up here. Again, not as tight right now, but we're going to have to continue to watch as we have these little spins. The wind shear is there, so it's about the energy. And when the energy and some of those parameters kick on in, that's when you can have problems. This is our latest game. We actually have maybe another area here out towards Clinch County that we're watching now as well. So we got to keep on watching, keep on tracking. See even a little supercellular type structure to these. That's really impressive here. In meteorology, not necessarily doing any damage right at this point, but you can kind of see here. I know I'm not doing the best job drawing this X, but you can kind of get the idea here. We'll continue to watch, continue to monitor the situation here. We have these little areas on the Doppler radar technology, and it looks like that Jackson radar is picking up on the spin here a little bit more in South Georgia. So let's see the latest scan time. They're nothing too tight, but that can change rapidly. Let's look at this area here, northwest of Folkestone. Ooh, that might be turning into something there. Let me check on our other mode because this might actually be closer. That's another area we gotta watch here, closer toward Folkestone now. So we have these little spins here, folks, that try to pop one up, and they could be problems here from time to time. So that's the thin flow there that you maybe think that's debris, but no, that's the thin flow there for sure. As we continue to watch, no active tornado warning here at this point. But let me go back on over to the view. I hate to leave you this quick here. I know we're in a situation where we're having to maybe transition more into extended coverage depending on how things play out over the next little bit, because with the tornado watch input, that kind of ups the ante a little bit here for the area with a tornado watch for Jacksonville, not for Stark, but just to the north here, you can have tornadic activity develop and then close to a watch area. But I know as we look off toward areas around Taylor County, toward Dixie County, more rain in there, so that's going to dampen the atmosphere. But we really have areas here east of 75 and north there of I-10, especially as we have the tornado watch. But even areas here south of I-10 and toward Bradford and Clay and St. Johns counties, you'll need to be kind of keeping an eye on the situation here, just in case things spin up. I mean, you have little areas of spin that's still up on our rotation tracker in a couple spots, and that's something. Let's see. They're talking about here in the chat that they're gonna weaken, that circulation's weakened is what I'm saying, off toward the west. So they're dropping the warnings, but in play right now, as we were just talking about the warnings that we've been talking here for and toward. Earlier we were talking about the one further back, but then Clinch County, the recent one. But this catches my eye. I might get a new warning here closer toward Folkestone now. So let me check our other mode here to see, because we started to get a little hook on that, and they did put a significant weather advisory here on this. So don't let your guard down quite yet, folks. There's a tornado watch for another 5 hours now. So based on things ramping on up on us a little bit, you can kind of see the greens and reds coming together here. You can see the greens and reds trying to come together anyway towards South Georgia. So let me go ahead and zoom back on out a little bit. I will go back on over to the Moody radar, and I can give you a different visual. There's a little something there. I might have to the inflow right now, but of course we have to keep on watching, because right now wind gusts up to 50 miles an hour. A possibility there, not tornadic in nature at this point, but these storms really have that supercellular structure to them. Again, that's just something you don't see all that often around here, so you got to stay tuned here, stay safe. If I have to come back on, of course, it'll be maybe for this storm up here, or maybe something off toward the west, like what we've been tracking, or even a different storm altogether, as we have the axis that's trying to rotate a little bit. So stay tuned, stay safe out there. I will go ahead and wrap the covered up for now. Thanks so much for tuning in and trusting me. I know these warnings have come rapidly, so make sure you go to Cloud_WX on Twitter for instant warnings as they come out from the Weather Service office there in Jacksonville. They'll come on out there immediately, so that's something that's really helpful in these type of situations. Right now, no active warnings again, no thunderstorm warnings. Go from no warnings to tornado warnings here pretty rapidly, but as that happens, we're going to be with you to keep you, your friends, and your family safe.